Hey everyone, and welcome to True Thought. My name's Jose, and today we're going to be talking about something super interesting. It's the idea, the fear of making a decision because you're afraid of making the wrong choice. And this is going to be really interesting because we're going to be going deep into mindset. I'm going to draw the stick man up here again, and we're going to see how this is just happening because of worry, doubt, and fear. And when we take control of our mindset, we realize, oh, we don't have to be in worry, doubt, and fear anymore. We can learn to trust and have confidence in ourselves. So stay tuned for today's episode and check it out. Okay, so there's three things that I want to talk about today for the reason why we're avoiding making decisions and we're fear of making the wrong choice. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the why. Why do we have this fear in the first place? The second thing is we're going to learn how to reframe that fear, because if that idea is in there, is causing worry, doubt, and fear, then you are going to keep getting held back. And once we reframe it, we're going to take one action step that's going to take us in that direction. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing we want to talk about is why. Why do we have this fear of making the wrong choice? Well, anytime you ask yourself that question, why, just understand that whatever is the reason, whatever is the answer to that question, why, that is your subconscious programming. That is what is causing us to make decisions. So we make decisions that those decisions that we feel good about, and that feeling good is going to cause us to do things, which is going to cause our results in life. So when we're avoiding making decisions, we have to understand first and foremost that you're not making a decision. You're actually choosing not to make a decision, which is no, you're not going to do it, right? So if you're afraid of making the wrong choice, like nobody is perfect. Nobody knows what the right choice is from the very beginning. So when you think about that idea, ask yourself, is it an actual valid fear? Because if you think about it, we have to fail. We have to do the wrong thing in order to know what the right thing is. And if we are always trying to avoid that feeling of not feeling the shame or feeling the guilt or feeling the negative energy of doing the wrong thing, making the wrong choice or making a big mistake, we're never gonna grow. We're gonna stay stuck. And that feeling of stuck is gonna keep us stagnant. So we want to do our best to completely understand that avoiding making a decision is actually a decision, and it's coming from your why. So why are you avoiding that decision is a very good question. I would write that down on a sheet of paper, and whatever comes to your mind first, that's what you want to understand, that that's your subconscious programming. And that's what's causing you to feel the fear. Because if you really think about it, how does it work? So our mind makes the body do things. So when we feel something, it's because our mind caused it. Now, there's two parts to our mind. We got our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. I say that over and over because I want you to understand that that's how it works. 1, 2, and 3. So when we are feeling fear, it's because in our mind, we caused it. We painted a picture, a negative picture, a worry, a doubt, and the fear. Because if you think about it, you can, in our thinking mind right here, this is where we think, we can only think in positive or negative pictures. So if that's true, then that means we are choosing a negative picture that provokes the feeling of fear. First, it was the worry, or it was the doubt, or maybe both. And that worry and doubt cause you to feel the emotion of fear. And that feeling of fear, avoiding is the same thing as running away, right? We're running away. So if we're avoiding making decisions, that means we're running away from making decisions. So our fear causes us to run away. So this happens automatically. What we want to do is we want to take control of this part of our mind. And we want to start rejecting the ideas of negative. And we want to start painting pictures of what if good things happen out of that decision? What if, I get these positive, wonderful opportunities from making that decision? Or even if I fail, what if it's good because I found out what not to do and what to do, right? You're gathering data, but you're shifting your perspective about that certain thing. So the first thing we want to do, now that we know why we're making this, how do we how do we overcome it? And we have to change the feeling. We have to change the fear. So let's go here, right? We have to change it from a negative to a positive. So let's go here. So I'm afraid to choose wrong, right? The first thing you want to ask yourself is why? Why are you afraid? Because that is going to tell you what your subconscious program. Remember, our subconscious program is causing you to fear, because what you're doing is you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're breaking through that wall. And so your subconscious programming is trying to bring you back. And so we have to understand what that wall is so we can break it down. So we ask yourself, why am I afraid to choose wrong, right? Number two is you want to ask yourself, what if you choose right? What will happen? And the answer that you get to that is going to bring you to two different choices. Then you're going to ask yourself, if I were in a perfect reality, would I rather have option one or option two? Am I going to be afraid to choose wrong and this negative thing happen? Or would I rather have choose right and have this positive thing happen? And so it's all about perspective. And so what you want to do is start taking action. Is you want to, at that moment, say, okay, I am done thinking like that. And you take this idea and you make it part of yourself. You keep it in front of you all the time, and you start to what we call auto-suggest that. You want to keep that idea, that new vision of the things going right. By when you make that decision, things are going to go right. You want to take that vision and you just want to put it into your subconscious over and over. So you have this mind, right? And now you're taking this idea and now you're putting it, you're telling yourself, you know what? I'm a decision maker. Quick decision maker. I am always acting on my ideas right away. I am always learning from my decisions, and everything I do is for my higher good. Everything happens for me, not to me. I am a leader, not a victim. Things like that. And you start impressing that, and that becomes your new program, which takes over and causes you to move into action. And that is going to improve your results. But when we're always avoiding, running away from making the decision because we're afraid of making the wrong choice, well, that idea is making you worry, and it's making you fear, and it's making you run away, anxious, and it's causing you to run away. So we need to change that idea. That idea is inside of the subconscious. And that's the whole, when we take control of our subconscious programming, things like you're going to start making better decisions. When you take control of your subconscious programming, you change it, you no longer are afraid of making the wrong choice. You're actually looking forward to making the wrong choice, because that's going to be the teacher. And you're going to have the confidence when you change your subconscious. You have the confidence to take action on the new ideas that come to you after the feedback that you got from making the wrong decision. See, it doesn't make sense to fear making the wrong decision. I lived like that for a long time. Let me tell you a story about me. So for a long time, I lived in fear of making the wrong decision. So I wouldn't make any decision at all, thinking, okay, well, nothing can go wrong if I don't choose. I'll just ignore it. But what I found out was that life is going to keep growing. And if I'm not growing with life, I'm shrinking. And that's exactly what was happening. I was internally shrinking because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life after, being a professional athlete, basically almost most of my life, to all of a sudden, okay, what do I got to do? And I started thinking about all the ideas that I could do. I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And I would try them. I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. I'll do this. This isn't for me. And I was always, and there was more that I wanted to try, but I was very hesitant. But what I found out was, through mindset coaching, I realized that I had these internal blocks that weren't letting me choose. And so my mentor told me that our soul opens inward. And so that made sense, because when you ask a question, the answer comes to you. So I closed my eyes and I asked myself, what would be the perfect thing that I could do that I would be happy doing? And it wouldn't feel like a job, but it was my own business, because that's what I really wanted. And the things that were coming up in my mind were training people that I already had trained in the past, training people who I wanted to train. And I was thinking to myself, why am I having these thoughts? I told myself I wasn't going to do that. But I said, what the heck? I got out of the vision, out of the meditation, and I took action on the first idea that came to me, which was call the gym, ask if there's any openings that you're interested. And I don't know why that day I did it, because normally in that time, I wouldn't take action on ideas right away, but I did. And I took action on it. And everything happened so fast, and it led me to 6 years later, training people and having my own group fitness training business. And so that experience tells me if I would have never made that decision, if I would have never asked that question, if I would have never sat down and looked inward, I would have been stuck in the same spot. And internally, it would have felt like I was dying because I wasn't really fulfilling my purpose. I wasn't really progressing. I wasn't moving forward. So it's very important to understand that if you want to have more progress in your life, you need to start making decisions and not avoid decisions. Make the decisions you know you need to make and stop fearing making the wrong choice, because we're not perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, and it's okay. It doesn't bring you down as a human. It doesn't bring your value down, and it actually brings your confidence up because now you know what not to do. And then finally, we want to take action on these ideas. Figure out why you're not making those decisions, and then write down the opposite to that, and then burn the negative ideas and keep the positive ideas in your mind all the time. And when the negative idea tries to come up and take control, you say, nope, I reject that thought. I reject it. Well, I hope that helps. That's it for today. Remember, you always want to take control of your thinking, and you want to accept and reject based on your goal. You always want to think truth regardless of appearances, regardless of what your circumstances say. You are great, you are a star, and you are infinite. I'm Jose Rojas. This is True Thought, and I'll see you on the next one. By the way, if you are someone who is looking for some help with this, feel free to put a comment down below and reach out to me. I'm Jose. Take care.